Today on Dead Dodge Garage, it's this 1984 Dodge D150 pickup with a Stepside bed. Did you know newer Stepside beds have metal floors instead of wood? I know, I was shocked too. My video on the 79 Stepside, you know, like a Little Red Express, but less, has been getting a lot of views lately, so, I don't know, maybe you guys want to see this. This thing, like the 79, is a really nice, solid truck. It's an original black truck, although this door has been changed. And it's wrapped to match, so it's not perfect. Funny story, this door was originally the same color as the 79. There are some scrapes and things over here, but that's fine. It did have a diamond plate step bumper, but, well, due to reasons, it now has the nice back bumper off the 79. This is a pretty nice truck, actually. Although it does have D-Series new door seal-itis, but that's okay. Longtime viewers will know that I've been planning to swap a 5.2 Magnum into the 79 Stepside and make a guide video. And I haven't. I might someday, but anyway, my friend Dustin bought the truck with the promise that I would still do that for him. Then this thing came along, and somebody already did it, so I'm off the hook. I enjoyed this truck very briefly and then swapped it to Dustin for the 79 back because, I don't know, because. This is a 5.2 Magnum. I don't know what year it is. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. There are slight differences in wiring and sensor connectors and things. Here's a 95. That one's like a 99 or 2000. It doesn't matter. More on this in a minute. Man, it's been actual fall for one day and the tree stuff is just out of control already, so that's great. Anyway, if you look here, you might notice the wheels kind of tucked into the fender. That's because this truck has been lowered. Somebody built this truck with the best of intentions. They lowered it. Great. But they did it by torching the springs, and that's just bad. They put in a Magnum with a Megasquirt, and that's great. But they barely got it running at all and didn't really do a great job. For example, the fuel pressure regulator here on the inner fender did not have that vacuum line going to it, and it was pumping out 60 psi at all times. That's too much. The gentleman I got this truck from traded a Harley-Davidson for it, and then spent some time unscrewing it. He did the lower van control arm swap and a stock coil spring to fix the lowering kit, and he dove into the tune on the computer and got it kind of sort of workable. Not perfect, but workable. There are some nice touches in this truck, and some nice parts. Overall, it just sort of needs a once-over. Oh, also, these humongous tires rub really badly anytime you go over a bump while turning, so we need to address that. So, on today's episode, we're going to do some silly stuff. We're going to put nice valve covers on this truck. We're going to make this wiper work again, because I'll tell you, at night, in the rain, that's a problem. Remember windshield wipers? Oh yeah, I remember. And yeah, we'll dive into the old laptop and punch some buttons and try to get the tune to work a little bit better. And then, well, Dustin will finally have a truck he can drive, so that's pretty cool. He must have heard me say his name. There he is now. Wow, so fixed. All it needed to have wipers again were two of the little bushings in there. Turns out the one on this side was just gone, and they had sort of set the linkage together to work, but it didn't work for long. Also, one there was gone and replaced by a hairpin, so that's interesting. Dustin got greedy and fixed the gear shift indicator. Nice. So, what do you know about setting up and tuning a Megasquirt system? Stop it. I'll tell you what I knew until very recently. Nothing at all. Just so happens, however, that a month or two ago, I started following YouTuber Superfast Matt, who has a couple good videos out on these systems. Now mind you, he's using them with motorcycle engines, not big humongous American V8s, but the concept is the same. I don't think setting up a Megasquirt from scratch is for the faint of heart, or for anyone that, you know, doesn't know a whole lot about fuel injection and wiring. In fact, it wasn't so many years ago that you actually had to build your Megasquirt module out of parts before you could even imagine screwing one onto a car and making it run. What, that little guy? I wouldn't worry about that little guy. I know the Megasquirt system is kind of challenging, crazy science stuff. And I also know that there are people putting cars together with it that, you know, it's taken a long time to get them together and fired up. So again, it seems like this is a hard subject to dive into. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm lucky with this truck to have started with something that already ran, but clearly whoever set it up initially didn't quite know what they were doing. Now again, I'm not an expert. I'm learning right now. You're watching me do it. If you need basic information, read the manual, and I highly recommend Superfast Matt's videos on setting up the Megasquirt system and first starts. One of the things he talks about is getting the injector dead time right, and I'll tell you what, it definitely wasn't right when I started. After doing a bunch of reading, I think this random number I ended up at that seemed to run the best might actually be correct, so we're going to leave that alone for now. Apparently a normal setting is between 0.5 and 0.9 milliseconds. These injectors, I've got them at 1.4 and it does work. I'll say this right now. Tuner Studio, and that's Lite's what I'm running because, well, I don't have a bunch of money, is capable of so much science. I mean, here's a look at a fuel table. This could be endlessly tweaked. Way too much science. Because I didn't build this tune initially, there are a bunch of settings in here I haven't even seen yet. Oh yeah, the wideband sensor might have died. That could be a problem. Yeah, the wideband checked out between the last time I parked it and today. That's going to be a problem. The good news is, well, it's running okay. Huh. The biggest problem I've had with this thing so far is an unpredictable and high idle speed. I've tuned the closed loop idle, and it's great when the truck enters closed loop, which it has now, so that's fine. Nice and smooth. I don't know how it entered closed loop with the wideband dead. More on that later. But the weird thing is when it won't enter closed loop, it still idles super high and it gets all grumpy and things are just weird. So clearly we need to tweak it. Oh yeah, also I turned on fuel cut because gas mileage. But the load's set wrong, so sometimes it activates at idle, which is a problem. Hey, the wideband's back, but the reading's totally wrong. Time to take a break from tuning witchcraft and make stuff pretty, maybe. Oh god, I don't think that can's any good. We're way off in the woods now, because same as the other day, I cannot find any setting for idle speed outside of closed loop idle. I've got closed loop idle, good to go, but what about when it's not in closed loop? That's more like it. And it only costs $17, because the future is dumb. Wait a minute, this ain't no 318. Today on Dead Dodge Garage, we finally pull our heads out of our butts and realize this is a 5.9 Magnum. That's 0.7 better. Neat. Rather unfortunately, our wideband sensor bit the big one, so that's it for tuning for today. It's fine. But what's it like to drive? Well, it's not slow, I'll tell you that. Unlimited power. Hook it with a stick. Yeah, so anyway, it's not slow. Pretty today. Well, we gotta test it, right? Little tail happy. Drives nice. Plenty of poop. Alright, you know, this leaves a little to be desired. Smells like a party. Yeah, it just does wicked one-legger burnouts on demand. So that's pretty cool. It would be nice if it, you know, spun both tires, but that's fine. What an absolute unit. Basically what we have here is a rocket ship disguised as a tiny pickup truck. Okay, it's probably only around 300 horsepower, but it's pretty good, especially in something that weighs nothing. Clearly, we have a lot more to learn about Megasquirt tuning, and I'm sure you'll be seeing that in a future video. Hard to do much more of it with a dead wideband sensor though. Are you happy?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm happy. So thanks for watching. And remember, leaving, what a good idea. Hey, it didn't die. Oh yeah, we forgot about valve covers. We're many hours into these things and they still look like crap. Just hit them with another round of texture paint and hopefully it hides more of the badness. And we'll shine the tops and put them on the truck, but that's another month, probably. Who's this guy think he is?